Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here with you online. And today we're going to read from Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verses 1 to 8. And I'm going to be using this Inspire Bible again. It's the New Living Translation, and this is the Creative Journal. And I'd like to share these words with you from Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verses 1 to 8, titled, A Time for Everything. For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to harvest. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build up. A time to cry and a time to laugh. A time to grieve and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather stones. A time to embrace and a time to turn away. A time to search and a time to quit searching. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be quiet and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. I think these words are really applicable for lockdown. And I had a look at these, and during the week I used a Bible study tool called S.O.A.P. Scripture, observation, application, prayer. So 4 letters there for S.O.A.P. And the way I did it, and you might want to do it differently, you might want to write your verses down. Normally I would say 8 verses is too many, but because this is repetitive, it worked for me. Find yourself 1 or 2 verses, maybe choose 1 or 2 of these verses and write it down. Or if you're using a creative journal, maybe colour them. Really meditate on the scripture, allow them to permeate your soul. And then spend some time asking God to show you something that he wants to say to you through this scripture. It may be that he'll show you 2 or 3 things. It may be just 1 thing, and just jot it down under O, observation. Just jot it down. And then application. It may be that you are grieving. It may be that you're terribly sad about not being able to physically be with friends and family. And it may be that you just need to acknowledge that with God and say, Lord, I recognise that this is actually for me a time of grieving. It may well be that being in lockdown suits your personality, it suits your character, and maybe you feel a sense of relief, maybe a sense of restoration. Maybe God's using this time to actually bring some emotional healing to you, and that's okay too. What I would encourage though is please don't look sideways at other people. Each of us will be in our own season, although we will have a collective season, definitely. We are collectively in lockdown. Each of us will be experiencing it very differently, and that is okay. That's definitely okay. So apply. How would you apply this to your life? How does God want you to apply this to your life? We know our local recycling centre is newly open, so it may be your season for throwing away. But I think that's going to need some patience as you queue up to enter that recycling yard, and some patience with the staff there. God bless them. And then prayer, our 4th letter, prayer. Maybe this is a time of friends and family having new babies. We have 3 new babies in our lives. It's very exciting. 1 on the way. And so maybe this is just a time to just pray blessings over those babies in your lives. And maybe you're just, if you're like me, super excited about these babies, and you're just praying blessings over them, blessings over their parents, And one of the anecdotal evidences that has come out of lockdown is that babies regain their birth weight much faster during lockdown than they did previously. So they're more likely to gain their birth weight in 5 days than 10. So I think that's good news. It may well be that in your prayer, you have to acknowledge, actually, I have been searching for something. Maybe you've been searching for a partner. Maybe you've been searching for a promotion or a relative. And maybe God's just using this time now to say, would you lay that down, child? Would you lay it down? And maybe you're coming before God and saying, actually, this is incredibly painful to me. I longed for this, and now I know I need to lay it down. But bring that to God. He wants to work alongside you. He's such a gentleman God. He never forces us to do. He wants to be with. We are human beings, and he wants to be with us. He doesn't want us to do constantly. He wants to be with us. So I encourage you to use that tool, and it is just a tool, just like the creative colouring is just a tool. But I encourage you to have a look at Ecclesiastes, and I pray that you would be blessed during your time of prayer and study. God bless. Bye.